The views and opinions expressed on the following program are not necessarily those of the staff and management of KLAY or those who advertise their products or services on this station.
You're listening to Viva ENT. This is your host, Johnny the Capo. On the line with me is my good friend, pal, and buddy, Eddie Redman from Grand Event Rentals. Eddie, say hi to our listeners.
Hi there, Johnny.
Yeah, we're live on the air now, Eddie, and everybody that listens to our show over the last 5 years plus knows that I'm in the entertainment industry, and I'm sure they've heard you before because you've been a co-host on the show. And Eddie is the owner of Grand Event Rentals, ladies and gentlemen. And, right now, even though your company is busy for the most part from January through January, you're pretty much getting ready to get into your peak season for summer events and weddings. Is that correct?
That's true, although it's starting off with a bang. I'm dropping, even as we speak, we're dropping 8,000 chairs for the Taylor Swift concert, which is coming up Tuesday.
As we're speaking, huh?
Yeah, as we're speaking. I got 3 trucks on the road doing that.
Man, that's a huge project.
It is. Luckily, we don't have to set them. Sometimes we do, sometimes we don't. But people a lot of times don't realize how much goes into a concert other than a big stage and the green rooms and everything else. There's a lot of backup behind there, especially when it comes to the guys that assemble everything.
Taylor Swift.
200 people.
Yeah, so how many chairs again? 800?
8,100. 8,100.
Oh, my gosh, oh, my. That's a lot of chairs, man.
Yeah, and, by fire code, they all got to be tied together and set up, and you got to leave your aisles so that there's plenty of room to get up stage and into your seats, and, there's plenty of room for people to pass, to go and sit in their seats, but those are the primo seats because they're right there in front of the stage, so.
And is the concert tonight?
No, it's Tuesday.
Oh, Tuesday, great. And that's going to be at where?
CenturyLink.
Very cool, man. Yeah, so you've done a lot of concerts over the years. I think you did Paul McCartney, didn't you, when he came?
Yeah, and we did, we just did, who else was at CenturyLink? Well, we did Eagles and Doobie Brothers, which was blessed with the Eagles concert. One of the best concerts I've seen, and I'm not a huge Eagles fan, so yeah.
Yeah, I like the Eagles, but they've never been really electrifying with their stage performance. So that's good to hear.
Yeah, they were. Although I did hear a trivia thing, they were one of the first big bands to sing harmony.
Yes, definitely were one of the bands that had a unique harmony sound, and along with the songwriting and the great musicians that they had in the band, they definitely are one of the premier rock bands of all time. At one time, the Eagles,
yeah.
Greatest Hits Volume 1, at one time passed Michael Jackson's Thriller album in sales. But since Michael Jackson, passed, that album went back on top.
Right. Yep.
But that shows you the power of the Eagles. They're an American rock and roll band. They're popular, and people love them.
Yep, for sure.
Yeah, so anything else we can talk about to plug Grand Event Rentals? This is a good time.
Well, yeah, well, what can I say? You know, a lot of stuff's coming up. One of the big projects we're working on now is the Special Olympic Games.
Cool.
Is the Olympic version of Special Olympics. So every 4 years it's held in Seattle. Is lucky enough to be hosting it this coming July.
And where's that going to be at?
University of Washington is the main facility, but then they'll use the Aquatic Center in Federal Way for swimming. And I think they're doing soccer at Seattle University, and one other, maybe gymnastics or something at Seattle Pacific University.
Man, oh man.
Yeah, that's a logistical challenge, but, you know, it's just like a big party spread out over a few sites.
Sounds like it. And you've been doing this a long time, so I'm sure you got it down to a science.
We try, you know, but the fun thing is every day is different.
Every day is a challenge.
Yep. One day you're doing a concert, the next day you might be doing a wedding for 300. So
very cool, very cool.
And then there's lots of corporate and nonprofit events, of course, that always crop up there. So yeah.
And you're going to be at all the wedding expos starting in September. I think
Yep.
I think there's 4 of them.
October. Yep.
Yeah.
And that banquet and event show is coming up too in October. So
yeah,
a lot of the special event shows will be hitting here pretty soon also.
You blink your eye and the next thing you know, we'll be doing them.
Yeah, I don't understand that. Why as you get older do the years go by quicker? It doesn't make sense to me.
Well, you know, in our business especially, because, you know, we got things happening every single week, especially on the weekends. The weeks turn, the days turn into weeks, the weeks turn into months, and the next thing you know, man, it's gone.
Yeah. Before we know it, it'll be Christmas this year.
You know, I know that you're a big rock and roll fan, and you're a big music fan, and you sing a little bit yourself.
I do.
Yeah. Were you ever a fan of rockabilly?
I was. In fact, growing up, my dad, one of his favorite artists was Elvis Presley.
Of course.
So, you know, I grew up knowing most of the Elvis songs, and my dad even told the story of when he went down and saw Elvis. They were filming. It happened at the World's Fair.
Okay.
And the one thing I remember my dad saying about that was that how Elvis, you know, got done filming. He sat and started signing autographs, and he says, "Don't worry, people. I'm going to stay here until I sign everybody's autographs. So there's no rushing or pushing. Don't worry about it." And I thought, what a really down to earth way to treat that. You know, considering this day and age how so many of these celebrities are just kind of like, you know, in and out and don't have the patience to sit down with people like that. And I kind of admired that about him. Plus, he had a great voice.
No question. Yeah, I think Elvis pretty much invented rockabilly, especially with those early songs like "Good Rockin' Tonight," "That's All Right, Mama." He did a great job on "Blue Moon of Kentucky," which sounded like a rockabilly, country, rock and roll mix all together. It was really something else.
Yeah, it was kind of one of those things where I think it was the right thing at the right time, and you know, kind of, you know, it's one of those things where you see, you know, the women kind of swoon and scream over, and kind of like the Beatles later on, and kind of like even, you know, some of the modern day artists now, although, you know, it's not quite the same type of music. I'm not 100% behind it, but, you know, it evolved.
Yeah, and before all that, there was Frank Sinatra. So, you know, there was Sinatra, Presley, the Beatles. I don't really, and correct me, or you can tell me what you think about it. I don't really think there's been any big phenomenon like those three, you know. I'm not to say anything.
No, I don't think there is. I mean,
yeah.
The problem you got to think about is there's so much more variety and so many within that variety now. You know, it's hard for them to even do the stadium filling like they used to back in the day. Rolling Stones can still pull it down. You know, I know Pearl Jam's going to be here later this year.
Cool.
And because they have such a huge following, you know, they'll pull it down. But it's so tough. There's such a variety out there now that it gets a little more fragmented. I think some of those people in the day, you know, and I firmly believe this, music really does have a soothing effect, a relationship effect. Like, you really can relate to some of the words to the songs, what's being said. Whereas it's tougher nowadays, I think, to really have that kind of relationship to music as much.
Well, I kind of agree with you, and the love songs, the romantic love songs that kind of are not being featured like they did. Even the Beatles, the songs were great. They were great love songs, and so on and so forth. But
it's a classic. You got to think about it. You had Frank Sinatra, you had Dean Martin, you had Sammy Davis. I mean, you had the whole rap pack in there. You had like the Elvis. You had the who was the one that Engelbert Humperdinck even.
Yeah.
Tom
Jones was cool. Yeah.
That came along and really, you really could relate to those songs, and I think a lot of both men and women could relate to those songs, and I think it's important for people to think about. So much of those things really touched on emotion.
I agree, sir. I agree 100%. Yep. So I was going to say that Michael Jackson was a big phenomenon somewhat, but because of the fact that he didn't really, invent his style, because he was pretty much just jumping into what had already been with Motown and James Brown and Jackie Wilson, whereas Elvis pretty much launched rock and roll. Sinatra launched big band fame then, and the Beatles spearheaded the band thing.
You had all kinds of bands after that went on to become huge. Led Zeppelin, Rush. How all that took off. Even the Stones were back in there. Put that whole band era thing for a while.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. Because pre-Beatles, there wasn't very many bands. There was the Beach Boys and a few others, but mostly pop rock music was dominated by male vocalists. Fabian, Bob Seidel, Bobby Darin, Ricky Nelson, all those cats. And then when the Beatles hit, all those cats were pretty much off the charts.
Right. The other thing I think about is it really comes to mind there is like Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Oh, Dynamite.
Backup band.
Oh, yeah.
I still listen to that stuff in my workouts now. And it's got that great beat. And you think about, what were they, 11-piece bands or something?
Something like that. They had three lead singers up front or something like that.
And they, that was kind of a movement there too, and got a lot of that. I think a further push of Motown.
Yes, I agree 100%. And so one of the reasons that I brought up the rockabilly thing, because today on the last half of our show, I have the best of Viva E&T featuring Gene Summers, who is now in the Rockabilly Hall of Fame. He had some success with the School of Rock and Roll, Straight Skirt, Nervous, Gotta Love That, Twixting are some of his hits. And he's going to be on the show. I had the pleasure to interview him along with Jerry Osborne.
So where's the Rockabilly Hall of Fame at?
I'm not really sure about that, but I could Google it real quick. I don't know
it existed.
Say it again?
I said I didn't even know it existed. That's something new. I'm learning today.
Yeah, there is a Rockabilly Hall of Fame. I'll see if I can get online and check it out and see what the heck's going on with it. We all know that about the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in Cleveland.
Right.
For sure. And so meanwhile, I'm going to try to Google that. We're going to get a quick word from our sponsors, Eddie, and I appreciate it if you stay on and let's finish out the show, man.
Yeah, sounds good. I'm here.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to Viva ENT. This is Johnny the Capo, your host. I'm on with my pal buddy and business associate, Eddie Redman from Grand Event Rentals. Hold on, we got to have a word from our sponsors. Thank you so much.
Attention business owners, experience a new world of business with barter. The Saturn Barter Company, located in Tacoma, is one of the most beneficial business decisions you can make. Using Saturn Barter, you are able to sell your products or services to other members of the exchange. You can then use that credit you've built up from your sales to purchase the products or services you or your company needs from other companies within Saturn Barter, all without the use of cash. Contact and join Saturn Barter Club today, 253-212-9930, or online at SaturnBarter.com.
This is Johnny the Gangster with Viva Productions, King of Entertainment, one-stop shop for all your entertainment needs. We have DJ service for weddings, corporate, and private events. Thrill your guests with Vegas Nights Casino Party, blackjack, craps, roulette, poker, and more. We also have event photography and limousine service. Call Viva Productions 206-542-5733 or find us at viva-productions.com. A little less conversation, a little more action, you got it. Call Johnny the Gangster. I'll make you a deal you can't refuse.
Brides, do you want your big day to be stress-free, perfect, and stay within your budget? Well, Brides Club has all the inside information to make your dream a reality. Go to bridesclub.com. That's bridesclub.com. See upcoming bridal shows and events, view wedding vendors and special offers. And don't miss The Spotlight, the premier online wedding magazine with valuable articles you can't afford to miss. Brides Club helps make your wedding stress-free and perfect. Go to bridesclub.com. Check out bridesclub.com. Life's a celebration. Grand Event Rentals makes your event their top priority. They are your full-service, special event, and party rental provider, supplying everything you need from start to finish. Their professional sales team and event staff work with you to create your dream event. With every event, Grand Event Rentals customers' needs are the most important. Whether you're planning an intimate outdoor wedding or an elaborate black tie gala, the Grand Event Rentals specialists make great pride in providing our event planning experience to help create an unforgettable event. Please go and visit the Bellevue Showroom, Grand Event Rentals, or make a one-on-one appointment. Talk to them. They're trained, they're knowledgeable, they're event specialists, and they are going to take you through step-by-step everything that you need to make your day a success. Call Grand Event Rentals. Their number is 425-462-7368, or go to grandeventrentalslaw.com.
Is your vehicle needing some attention? Take it over to Maddie's Tuning and Shoreline for fast, affordable car care. Trusted, professional. Maddie's services all makes and models and has been trusted in the Puget Sound for almost 60 years. Call Brian Maddie at 206-364-3347 or stop by his convenient location in Shoreline right on Aurora at 152nd. Maddie's Tuning. Call 206-364-3347. Trusted for almost 60 years to keep you safe and on the road.
Give us a room with a view of the beautiful Rhine. Give us a room with a view of the beautiful Rhine.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to Viva ENT. We're back on the air. I'm on the air with my pal and buddy, Eddie Redman. Eddie, say hi.
Sure.
Yes, sir. Yeah. So we've been talking rock and roll for the last 20 minutes, which is always my favorite subject for radio. You know, I do want to tell our listeners about the Landmark Convention Center / Temple Theater, which I am happy to announce that I am part of the sales staff at the Landmark. I'm assistant sales director, and anybody that's planning an event or having a private party, a wedding, or whatever you call it, we have 10 rooms at the Landmark.
Yeah, that's an extensive place. It's more amazing than a lot of people know.
That is correct. You know, we have a huge ballroom, the Plaza Grand Ballroom. The Temple Theater is a ballroom. We've got 2 ballrooms on the 4th floor, the Corinthian and Gothic. And of course, one of our most popular rooms is the roof garden, 6 floors up.
That's beautiful up there. Sweeping views of the harbor.
Mm-hmm. It is. There's no. I think that was Google that came on, but it's gone now.
Cut you off a little bit there, John.
I think so. But anyway, yeah. So anybody that is planning an event, please call me at 253-420. Wait a minute, 272-4020. 253-272-4020. And I would love to tour the landmark for you, get you a great deal. And Eddie, it's been a pleasure having you.
I got a trivia question for you.
Oh, please lay it on me, because you know I'm the king of rock and roll trivia.
How many hats and coats can you check at the coat room at the landmark?
How many hats and coats can I check at the landmark?
No, that coat room. They have that special hat and coat room.
You want me to? How many hats and coats can you check at the landmark in the coat room?
Yeah, I want to say it was over 800 last time I was there.
Do you know the real answer?
Yeah, it's at least that. Because that was one of the amazing things when I toured there. I remember doing, because it was built back in the day when everybody wore a hat.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I got that.
So I thought I'd throw that trivia out there for you.
No, that's a good trivia. So 800 people. Oh my gosh! In those days, we do have a complete coat check-in, hat check-in, but you know, like everybody in those days wore hats.
Yeah. I know. We need to start bringing that back, right?
Well, you know, I wore hats a lot back in the early 80s when I was performing with my band in Vegas. I wore the gangster type hat quite often. It was fun.
Yep, I hear you.
Yeah. So I wanted to clear up that number for the landmark real quick. It's 253-272-2042, in case people didn't catch that. So Eddie, tell us what's going on with you. What's coming up with you?
Well, let's see. Like you say, the season is starting off. We're doing a lot of weddings. The vineyard chairs, the farm tables are, quite popular. The linens, boy, the colors are all over the board. The metallics is still kind of a popular thing, the golds, the silvers, but still, color is really pretty wide open these days. Sometimes you see some purples or some blues are really popular, but it's kind of across the board this year. We got rose gold silverware that's kind of unique. What else is out there? We have the high peak style tents. They come in 20-foot wide if you want that look with the peak sticking up. And liners, leg drapes for the tents. Dance floors. We can't forget dance floors, being with Viva Entertainment here. We got the oak dance floor, the white dance floor, the black and white check dance floor.
That's right. You got to have a dance floor.
Yeah, that's the most important part. If they dance, it'll be fun.
Yes, sir.
And then what else? Just the usual, whether you're doing a buffet, a stage with a live band.
You have everything when it comes to producing an event. You have dance floor, you have risers, you have stages, you have linens, you even have Chinaware, right? You have China.
Oh yeah, we say everything but the food is how I look at it.
Yeah, everything
but some decor pieces. So, yeah.
That's fantastic, man. You're a one-stop shop.
We try to be. First you got to find the bride or the groom, and then we can provide the rest.
Well, that's wonderful and marvelous, Eddie. You keep on doing the good work. Congratulations with the success of your company. You've been around a long time, and I know you're going to be around a long, long time. Thanks for being on Viva ENT. And
always a pleasure.
I want all our listeners to Go ahead and give your website and your contact information real quick, Eddie.
Okay. The website is grandrent.com or grandeventrentals.com. Either one should get you there. And then the phone number is 425-462-7368. And where you pretty much cover the entire western Washington region. So don't feel like any place is too far away.
Very cool. It was a pleasure having you on the show. Ladies and gentlemen, please stay tuned for our interview with rockabilly legend Gene Summers coming right up on the half hour. And, we'll dig you now and see you later because you are fine, sweet potato. Thank you, everybody. Stay tuned. We got a great interview coming up for you.
Yeah, well, the school of rock and roll is where you learn to move your bone. Well, the school of rock and roll is where I long to go. Well, the teacher, she don't use a piece of chalk. 'Cause a man alive, she don't pretend to make a mark. Well, at this here school, all you learn to do is rock. Well, they rock on the blackboard, they rock on the desk. The rocking on work is the what they love the best. The school of rock and roll session all year long. Well, the school of rock and roll is where I long to go.
This is Johnny the Gangster with Viva Productions, King of Entertainment, one-stop shop for all your entertainment needs. We have DJ service for weddings, corporate, and private events. Thrill your guests with Vegas Nights Casino Party, blackjack, craps, roulette, poker, and more. We also have event photography and limousine service. Call Viva Productions 206-542-5733 or find us at viva-productions.com. A little less conversation, a little more action, you got it. Call Johnny the Gangster. I'll make you a deal you can't refuse.
Brides, do you want your big day to be stress-free, perfect, and stay within your budget? Well, Brides Club has all the inside information to make your dream a reality. Go to bridesclub.com, that's bridesclub.com. See upcoming bridal shows and events, view wedding vendors and special offers. And don't miss The Spotlight, the premier online wedding magazine with valuable articles you can't afford to miss. Brides Club helps make your wedding stress-free and perfect. Go to bridesclub.com, check out bridesclub.com. Life's a celebration. Grand Event Rentals makes your event their top priority. They're your full-service, special event, and party rental provider, supplying everything you need from start to finish. Their professional sales team and event staff work with you to create your dream event. With every event, Grand Event Rentals customers' needs are the most important. Whether you're planning an intimate outdoor wedding or an elaborate black tie gala, the Grand Event Rental specialists make great pride in providing our event planning experience to help create an unforgettable event. Please go and visit the Bellevue showroom, Grand Event Rentals, or make a one-on-one appointment. Talk to them. They're trained, they're knowledgeable, they're event specialists, and they are going to take you through step-by-step everything that you need to make your day a success. Call Grand Event Rentals. Their number is 425-462-7368, or go to grandeventrentalslaw.com.
Dr. Amanda Wong and the team at Art of the Smiles provides comprehensive dental services at affordable prices. Their convenient location in Federal Way and their extended hours fits the needs of both families and working professionals. Whether it's transforming your smile through some of their cosmetic therapies or simply having your teeth cleaned, Art of the Smiles provides individualized care plans that address your priorities and needs. Visit artofthesmiles.com or call 253-839-4048. That's 253-839-4048 for same-day scheduling. Most insurance is accepted, from cosmetic procedures to implant placement, molar root canals treatment, or wisdom teeth extractions.
Attention business owners, experience a new world of business with barter. The Saturn Barter Company, located in Tacoma, is one of the most beneficial business decisions you can make. Using Saturn Barter, you are able to sell your products or services to other members of the exchange. You can then use that credit you've built up from your sales to purchase the products or services you or your company needs from other companies within Saturn Barter, all without the use of cash. Contact and join Saturn Barter Club today, 253-212 9930 or online at SaturnBarter.com.
Is your vehicle needing some attention? Take it over to Maddie's Tuning and Shoreline for fast, affordable car care. Trusted, professional. Maddie's services all makes and models and has been trusted in the Puget Sound for almost 60 years. Call Brian Maddie at 206-364-3347 or stop by his convenient location in Shoreline right on Aurora at 152nd. Maddie's Tuning. Call 206-364-3347. Trusted for almost 60 years to keep you safe and on the road.
Bringing good vibes to the Puget Sound and the world. Alternative Talk 1150.
All year long. Well, the school of rock and roll is where I long to go. One more!
Ladies and gentlemen, guys and dolls, cats and chicks, you're listening to Viva ENT. We do bring you the rock and roll legends every single week on our show. I want to at least say hi to my producer, the greatest producer in all the city.
Hey, it's Eric C.C. Reiner.
And I have the fortune of having the great talent coordinator, author, Mr. Jerry Osborne with me today.
Yes, I have set the bar high for future talent coordinators.
That's right. As a matter of fact, I don't think anybody can compare with you.
Lyricist, too. Let's not forget that.
And the guy,
I'm glad you remember that.
yeah, and the guy's an author, too, for goodness sakes. Now, listen to this. We got, one of the greatest rockabilly artists of all time on our show today. He's a member of the Rockabilly Hall of Fame. His name is Gene Summers. Did I say that right, C.C. Ryder? Thank God.
You got it.
Okay. Well, I got a good memory, but it's short. But anyway, Jerry, bring our guest on.
Well, you've done a good job of introducing him, and all I'll say is that I've known him for many, many years, and he is without a doubt one of the nicest people you would ever want to meet in the entertainment business. I have talked to him on the phone while he was on his way to the airport. Remember that, Gene? You were going to England, and I talked to you on the phone as you were headed for the airport.
I remember it well, yes. How you doing, Jerry?
I'm great. Anyway, and so I've been wanting to get you on the show for some time, and then I realized the best way to reach you was on Facebook because we're both friends already, and so I did, and you accepted my invitation right away, and the result is we got a great guest today who, like myself, graduated from the School of Rock and Roll.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Positively. Gene, tell us all about it, man.
Tell us all about what?
All about the School of Rock and Roll, Rockabilly, how you got your start.
Yeah, what inspired you to play the kind of music you do? Because somebody had to have been in your head for you to come up with this stuff.
They were in my head, and it was the two main people in my head was Elvis Presley, of course, and Carl Perkins.
Of course.
Great.
I know that when we were in school, you used to go down to this little record shop, and they would let you play records, whether you bought them or not.
In Dallas?
We used to go down there and listen to Carl Perkins, man, every day after school.
Was that in Dallas?
We already knew who Elvis was, but here come Carl Perkins, man, So I think Carl was really a really pure rockabilly guy.
Well, if you ever heard Movie Mag, you'd know that.
Yeah.
Was that record shop in Dallas, Gene?
No, it was out in Duncanville, my hometown.
Oh.
Little town outside of South Dallas, south of Dallas.
It's kind of a funny statement in a way because, Carl Perkins hit the national charts in 1955 with Blue Suede Shoes. Everybody thought it was, nobody even knew Elvis in 1955 nationally. But everybody thought it was Elvis, when Elvis hit in 56 of January.
Yeah, well, we'd already knew about Blue Suede Shoes, but we was listening to Boppin' the Blues and stuff like that.
Boppin' the Blues
because
was...
Perkins stuff, man, it just fit a trio.
Oh, yeah.
And that's what we had was a trio.
I don't think Carl did a bad record.
Yeah.
No, he never did.
I love the trio, too.
Good.
I love the guitar, bass, and drums. I mean, that's like the root.
Well, that is the root of rockabilly.
Thank you so much, sir. You're right.
Yeah.
I don't think Carl Perkins gets the credit he deserves for being a great guitar player too, because he was.
Yeah, he was, no question about it. And
he was doing good licks like Chuck Berry back then, man.
Yeah, no question about it.
So how'd you come to do your first record?
Well, we graduated from high school, went to college, and I didn't, what am I going to do in college? So we took the band and we started doing little gigs around town, and we ended up on a TV show.
Cool.
That was broadcast weekly. It's called Joe Bill's Country Picnic. Anyhow, the songwriter Jed Tarver saw us, and he got in touch with us, said, I can get you a record contract if you'll do my songs.
Wow.
I said, well, yeah, what songs you got? So, of course, he wrote Straight Skirts, and then we needed a flip, so we'd been doing the song that James McClung wrote called School Rock and Roll. So that was the two songs that we first recorded. He got us on the label with Jan Records, and that was how we got our very first start.
Wow, that's cool. Jerry, I'm going to ask you a question, then I'm going to ask our guest a question. Jerry, what do you think was the very first rockabilly record?
The very first rockabilly record?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know, Blue Moon of Kentucky by Elvis, probably.
Well, I like that, actually, and that was the flip side of...
his first record.
That's All Right, Mama.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Gene, what say you?
The other side, That's All Right, Mama.
Well, you know what?
The first time I heard that record, man, we lived in a small town, but there was even a smaller town down south a little bit further, and they had a radio station.
Yeah.
And I heard, one day I heard that song, That's All Right, Mama, and I'd never heard anything like it.
Of course.
And I'd listened to a lot of rhythm and blues, but it wasn't rhythm and blues, and it wasn't country.
Right.
And it immediately, who is that, and I've got to do that. It was just an immediate thing, man. It's that song just hit me.
Did you ever get over to the Louisiana Hayride to see him?
Pardon?
Did you ever get over to the Louisiana Hayride to see him?
No, I never did see Elvis. I did in the 70s.
Oh yeah.
I saw him in the 70s, but never when he was in the early days. But now I did meet Scotty and Bill in the early days. After about 1959, when they had split from Elvis, they were doing a thing at the State Fair of Texas.
Cool.
Which is coming up, by the way, now this next month.
We've had DJ Fontana on the show.
Oh, you have?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well,
that was. Go ahead, sir.
I don't know. I don't think DJ was with them at the time.
So it was pre-drums.
I think he used the Dallas drummer.
Oh no!
I think they used. I can't think of his name right now, but he did a lot of backups for people coming in town.
Yeah.
All I met was Scotty and Bill.
Very cool. Yeah, that was the original thing going on, and it's funny that you say That's All Right, Mama, because Jerry, I'm sure will correct me, but That's All Right, Mama is almost considered like the first rock record by some historians. Am I right, Jerry?
Well, they might think that, but it certainly wasn't that.
Right.
We have played rock and roll records from 1948 and 49.
Correct.
And so we know that they were rocking in the industry before that. But I think because none of those earlier ones, for the most part, really got publicity, I think a lot of people were hearing That's All Right, as well as Blue Moon of Kentucky. And to them it was new. So I can see why they would say that.
Well, I like the idea, and I agree with you 100%, but I like the idea because I don't think Elvis gets the credit that he deserves artistically, in the long spectrum of things. And what do you think about that, Gene?
Well, I consider him the icon and the guy, and I don't
Likewise.
really care what anybody else says.
I like that.
Nobody here disagrees.
Everybody's got an opinion,
Gene, we had a producer, one of the greatest producers in record history, Johnny Madera, on our show. And didn't Johnny write At the Hop,
He did.
Jerry?
Yeah, he wrote At the Hop and many other things.
So,
You Don't Own Me for Leslie Gore?
Oh, yeah. So, Gene, we had him on the show, and he's supposed to, talk about his career. But, for the whole half hour, we talked about Elvis because he was such a big fan.
Really?
And it was funny, too, because, you became a fan, early because of the rockabilly, Carl Perkins, That's All Right, Mama, Blue Moon in Kentucky stuff. And Johnny didn't become a fan until Rostabout, 1964.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
He was a late comer, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was a late comer. So we started talking about the movies and all that stuff, and it was a great show.
But, everybody says, well, what is rockabilly, What is that, How do you explain it? Well, when we started out, you were hearing rhythm and blues.
Right.
And you was hearing like 24 hours a day and stuff like that.
Correct.
With the big horns and all of that.
Yeah, right.
But you take a guitar, a bass, and a drum, throw away the horns and the piano and all that, and you do it 24 hours a day, and it's rockabilly.
That's correct, sir.
It's just the narrowing down of instruments, basically, and the way they're played.
So when you had your original trio, did you use the stand-up bass, or were you?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
We had in fact, we stole him from high school. He was still in high school.
Mm-hmm.
And we had the stand-up bass and guitar, my guitar, and drums. We had actually 4 pieces.
Jerry, we don't talk about Bill Black much on the show, but I mean.
Well, he was very important to the trio. Absolutely.
Yeah, he was the guy, don't you think, for rockabilly bass?
Yeah, and
sure.
he, with his shenanigans, would give the crowd something to laugh at, and he would bring sometimes a necessary break to the tension and the seriousness of the show itself. And all bands needed somebody like that.
Right.
Wouldn't you think so, Gene?
Yeah, even in the country bands back then, they always had a bass player that was kind of corny, that would do weird stuff.
Right.
So Bill Black was just carrying on the tradition, except he cleaned it up from really corn stuff just to loosen people up.
Gene, there's 3 people that came to mind, well, 2 in particular, that you didn't mention, and they're both Memphis boys, and I think they were very important to the whole rockabilly scene, too, in the beginning, and that's Charlie Feathers and Johnny Burnett.
Oh, yeah.
And his trio. What'd you think about those 2?
Yeah, well, they were right there when it started, too. In fact, I think the Burnett boys were ahead of Elvis. I think they were already recording for Coral, wasn't it?
They were. Well, and they recorded for other labels, too. But it's ironic that they were on network TV at the same night, at the exact same time, on the amateur hour, Ted Mack's amateur hour, as when Elvis was on the Ed Sullivan Show. On one night, they were both on opposing channels.
I never knew that.
Are you talking?
I knew that.
Jerry, are you talking about the first appearance in Hollywood, or?
I don't remember which appearance, but I know that it was one night because I had the TV guide, so I know what was on all of the channels at that time. And Elvis was on Sullivan, and they were on the other network, which was probably ABC, with Ted Mack's Amateur Hour, and they had the list in the TV guide of all of the acts that were on, because it was sort of like an early version of American Idol or The Voice, where they were people who were aspiring to become known better, and they had a chance to do it on TV. So the Burnett Trio was on opposite Elvis, and we know who won that ratings bout.
Oh, yeah. So, did you...
But I think they won that contest, didn't they?
On that show, I think so, yeah.
I don't think Elvis did too well on the amateur hour, did he?
Well, he wasn't on there.
I know.
No, he didn't need to be.
Hey, Gene, I've got a little memory teaser for you here. I'm looking at the KXOL Fort Worth Top 40 survey for the week of January 12th, 1964. Well, we know what happened in January 1964. The British invasion was starting.
Right.
But on that chart, the number one song that week was Outer Limits by the Marquettes.
No kidding.
The number two record was Hey Little Cobra by the Ripcords. The number three record was Blue Diamond by Gene Summers.
Wow.
How about that?
Yeah.
Do we have a little of that Blue Diamond, Eric?
Well, that song was retitled, was wrongly titled from the start. It's Big Blue Diamond.
Yes.
Big Blue Diamond.
Yeah, but they have Blue Diamond here.
They had Blue Diamonds, yeah. And it went as Blue Diamonds until Jamie picked it up, and then they got the right title on it.
You're talking like at that particular time, the number one record, two record, and Gene had the number three record?
Yes. Well, on that week's chart, he was number three on KXOL Fort Worth and their top 40 survey.
I believe it.
And I wasn't sure that Gene even knew that, although because he's from that area, I figured he would know that it was a big hit in that metropolitan area.
Let's get a little snippet of that real quick. I'm curious to hear it.
It's a ballad, unlike the other ones you've heard by Gene.
Oh, by the way, Gene, I love your voice.
Oh, well, thank you.
Yeah.
I love your voice.
No, thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Instead of that little band of gold, big diamond, big blue diamond, tell a story of a love that no one man could ever hold.
That is a cool little tune, man. Kind of reminds.
That's like Trojan Swamp or something, you know.
Kind of reminds me of Big Love, Big Heartache.
Oh, from Roustabout,
Yeah,
of course.
A big love.
Oh, by the
a
way,
big heartache.
speaking of Elvis, he was at number 27 that week with Bossa Nova Baby.
No kidding. Bossa Nova.
Jerry, what date did you say that was?
January 12th, 1964.
64.
Yep.
Okay, well, that was when it was peaking, but a few weeks before. It's a long story, but anyhow, that song was charted once. It went down, and then it charted again. It was in 1963 when Kennedy was assassinated.
Yeah.
The day he was assassinated, it was the number 10 song in Dallas.
Wow.
And then it kind of went down, and it came back up again the next year, and that's when it really took off for me. But it kind of had a second coming.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad for you. I got to tell you this before we end up getting separated here today. The poster that you sent me for the big show of 1961 with Chuck Berry, the Drifters, and you.
Right.
Well, I heard from Peter Blecka, who is the most knowledgeable guy that I know about Seattle history when it pertains to music. And he looked at this and he said that he believes that this show was at the Seattle Orpheum Theater. Does that sound familiar?
Man, I can't remember.
Well, you told me you didn't know, so I thought I'd tell you that we think it was at the Seattle Orpheum Theater.
Well, that sounds good.
Yeah.
He's got a good memory, but it's short, Jerry.
Yeah, I just don't remember those things.
What was it like being on a show with Chuck Berry at the time?
I could tell you a story, but I better not. Chuck was great, man. He really was.
I think we all know the behind-the-scenes stories about Chuck.
Well, I don't know. Maybe different stories. But no, Chuck was a big country fan, man.
Yes, he was.
He'd be on the bus singing Wabash Cannonball, just like Roy Acuff.
Well, wow. The Wabash Cannonball actually is the melody line for Promised Land. Am I right, Jerry? Think about it.
Well, I don't know that it is exact, but it is similar, yes.
Eric, Google Wabash Cannonball and see if it's not the melody line for The Promised Land by Chuck Berry. Think about it. Oh, yeah. The Capo got you on this one, Jerry. Believe me. So anyway, while Eric's looking it up, the Wabash Cannonball, which is a great song, if you almost play it, and matter of fact, I probably can get our producer to play both cuts real quick, like, are almost note for note the same tune. So
well, you play guitar, so you would know about that.
Well, actually, any way we can get Eric real quick? Wabash Cannonball and Promised Land.
Okay, well let's play a little bit of the Carter family then, doing Wabash Cannonball.
Okay, cool. I like it.
From the wide Pacific to the broad Atlantic shore, she climbs Clary Mountain o'er hills and by the shore. Although she's tall and handsome and she's known quite well by all, she's a regular combination of the Wabash Cannonball.
Here you go. There's the Wabash. Now here's the Promised Land. Just for kicks.
Well,
even
even
Gene Summers will appreciate this.
Okay.
All right.
I left my home in Norfolk, Virginia, California, home of mine. Straddled that Greyhound and rode him into Raleigh and on across Carolina. Had more to trouble to turn into a struggle halfway
across Alabama.
Well, a hound broke down.
There you go. There you go, guys. Now you're rocking with the Capo in Seattle.
I don't know. There might be something in there. But
Similar. I'm
Similar
gonna
melodic
go with
hook.
similar.
Yeah.
I wanted to mention that last Saturday night, Gene Summers was doing a show with Wanda Jackson, who we want to get on our show
Oh, my gosh.
one day soon. So I wanted him to talk a bit about how she's doing and how that show went.
Are you talking about Wanda Jackson, hard-hitting woman?
Yeah.
Okay, Gene,
Yeah.
go ahead, Gene. Tell us about it.
Wanda did fine. She's a little under the weather because of a hip problem or something. But she went out there and was a real trooper, and crowd loved her. And she stayed on the full about probably an hour.
Really?
And
Wow.
yeah,
Wasn't she like
but
one of the...
she was sitting down, but it was more like just an intimate thing with the crowd, you know.
Wow.
And so they loved her. It was a great show.
She was known as the Queen of Rockabilly, am I right?
Well, she should be, you know.
Yeah.
What say you,
I
Jerry?
think so. Well, a lot of people say Janice Martin, but
Huh?
you know, I think Wanda's had a little bit more exposure than Janice Martin.
much more. Plus, a far more active and successful career.
Yeah, she's had big hits, man.
Many.
Yeah,
She's a sweet woman. She's a real sweet lady.
I'm glad to hear
Well,
that you're still out there and touring and performing. That's good. Hooray for you.
Well, yeah, not as much, but if one comes along, I'll do it.
Well,
And Wanda, by the way, Wanda's going to be with me in Viva Las Vegas next year.
all right, cool. Well, are you guys doing a show
And
there?
Brenda Lee's going to be there.
Yeah, Brenda's been on our show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So listen,
We all should get together and do that.
I'm down to less than 2 minutes, guys. Gene,
Why don't y'all come on out there to Vegas and we'll all get together.
well, that's my hometown, man.
I like it.
That's where I first saw the King, brother. But listen, we're down at less than 2 minutes. Gene, tell our listeners about your Facebook, your website, all your info.
Okay, all you got to do is go to Facebook and put in Gene Summers. And if it looks like it has anything to do with music, that's probably me.
Sounds good, man.
There's more than one Gene Summers on there.
We want to get you back on the show. Thanks for being on the show. Jerry, tell us who's on the show next week.
I can't because I haven't confirmed it yet, but I will tell you, if it does work out, it will be the most famous person you've ever had on the show.
Hold it. Can you give me a hint?
I'm working on it.
Okay. Are we going to get DJ Fontana back on the show soon?
I put in a call to him today, and all I got was the answering machine, but I am working on getting him back too. So, yes, we will have him back again.
Jerry, tell our listeners about your books, your website, your Facebook, everything.
Everything is on jerryosborne.com. That's all they need to know.
Thank you guys for being on the show. Ladies and gentlemen, another great show here at Viva ENT. This is Johnny the Capo with Eric C.C. Ryder. We'll dig in out and see you later because you know you are a fine sweet potato. Keeping rock and roll alive in Seattle, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much and good afternoon.
You make me nervous, can't you see? Baby, what you doing to me? You make me nervous with your smile.